Hey guys, it's Tarquin. I'm coming back with another game of Minecraft. Today I'm going to show you how to build a redstone clock. That is what somebody called it. I call it a repeating redstone circuit. So all you need to do is get a little line off of where you want to go. First, one on the corner, in line, a repeater, and then you can place two redstone blocks. Then you need to be facing the opposite direction with the other repeater. One more dust to make a 3x2 square. You want to drop with right click your little matchsticks down all the way there and very, very quickly tap the lever. If you tap the lever too slow, you'll have to break the circuit and to stop it, and it'll get stuck on. Oops. See, too good at doing it now. It'll go like so, and you can't flick a lever to make it go away then, and you just got to pop the circuit. But the very, very fast lever flick, that's what's important to get it going. I never would have figured that part out if it weren't for a comment. Someone told me to make a ring with repeaters. I had this clock on the side here. This is my permanent clock. I didn't want to risk not being able to do it again. I didn't actually think I would get it like the first or second try, but that's how to do it. I leave one on this side, so if I ever want to activate, bam, just complete the circuit. And then anytime you want to cancel it, you break that, and then your clock keeps ticking. Your repeating circuit keeps repeating. And that is my innovation there. Someone talked about a bubble elevator. I tried magma blocks, but magma it makes bubbles, but it sinks, descends with gravity, so I couldn't use that. And I tried to build this little tower. This is just a concept. There's no proof of the concept. So the idea was I'll use an elevator of water, and that'll be the bubbles. Well, what will I do to push things up? I'll use pistons. They push, right? So I just have some pistons. So basically, the idea is it would be coming down here and enter the hopper. This hopper connects to a dispenser that is redstoned right here. It's all convoluted. I had to figure out if it would even work before I wanted to make it more efficient. So you cycle it a few times. First of all, it doesn't work, but it pops up, and my eggs, they go here, but maybe if I get a couple more pistons, like if I get one on this side and then another one up, if I have like 8 pistons, then I can get it to go up one level, because the useful work of the system right now is only that it can take an output from one level lower than the dispenser and put it up to one level higher than the dispenser. And that, of course, is good, but it's not really that productive, because the hope is that I can one day get it to the hopper at the top. Because if I can do that, then I can rebuild the tower, orient it in some other direction, and make an automated circuit with all of the pistons pushing everything up, a la an elevator of mechanical force. But like I said, that doesn't work yet. But that's what I've been working on, to no avail. The repeating circuit clock took me a while. One of the comments in my last video said to make a ring and do, I forget the exact wording, but it was like a soft touch or a weak touch on the lever, but it meant a very fast flick, I think. But without that hint, I don't think I ever would have got it sorted out. But the other things I've been working on, while I've been working on this, I've been hard at work with other things. I was trying to figure out the behavior of pumpkins. Pumpkins will grow in between, just like gourd vegetables in real life. They like to jump over from where you think you're planting them. Anyone who's ever tried to plant squash or zucchini, or even had like a compost pile where you threw seeds of those vegetables in, will be familiar with how they can just sprawl and take over everything. A beautiful, delicious mess. I don't enjoy pumpkin, but some of the other gourds that behave in what I would call pumpkin-like ways with gardening behave that way. So normally crops seem to benefit from irrigation. You hit F3 and it says moisture 7 and such, but it appears that pumpkins do not at all. Like this patch here has not yielded a single pumpkin, maybe ever. They like space, and then they will pop out pumpkins to the side of it. So it seems like even just as likely or more likely as a pumpkin going out of the initial place where you plant the seeds, it'll come out to the sides. And I keep noticing, see, they'll pop up here or like in front of my chests where I don't plant them. But gradually it's going down. So like that island in the middle there, I don't think that's ever yielded a pumpkin. And here on these edges, I don't think I've replanted pumpkins in this patch ever. So I'm often just knocking them down, and then whatever inhospitable pumpkin land, it just pushes it over into the next one, which is pretty cool. A little bit of efficiency. And speaking of efficiency, I have entered into a new era. Oh man, am I so efficient now. Y'all don't even know. Do you want to see? Do you want to see my tools? That is a Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3, and Mending pickaxe. I figured it out. So all you have to do is go to the anvil and you get previously good stuff. Like I had an Efficiency 4 pickaxe and another Efficiency 4 pickaxe, and then you bash them together in there. But also what we're going to do, so books exist and they work. So this sword I've been using a bit. So it's got looting 3, which is amazing, but sharpness 3, which could be better. One of my librarians sells a sharpness 5 book. So for only 5 small little levels, you can upgrade the sword, and now it'll have that. Now with sharpness 5, I have a mending book that I got from one of my librarians, and for 3 more, now I have mending, and mending is the best thing in the whole game. Mending is how you get infinite items. So I'm going to go ahead and put feather falling on these boots. I got a feather falling 4 enchantment from another librarian that I've been leveling up. So now these boots make me really good underwater and protect me from fall damage. So they're going to be quite nice to protect my life in general. I haven't put mending on my armor yet. Of course, since I play on peaceful, I don't take very much damage. But so I was thinking, what I needed was all these diamonds to make things. They were going to break, and I have to remake them. But I found that fishing pole in a shipwreck or some underwater thing. I think it was a shipwreck. Not on stream and on video, but that let me know that the mending enchantment existed. And I couldn't get it off of the enchantment tables, but if it was daytime, you'd be able to see I've got a lot more master level traders, these Fletchers here. So I had so many feathers and raw chicken meat, and I was selling the chicken meat to a butcher with the smoker, and then I had a couple that didn't want to buy any. They only wanted to buy like rabbit meat or something, so I couldn't level them up any at all. And chicken meat is apparently a base level one. So what I did was eliminate one of them. And I was talking about my guilt in this affair to one of my friends. And they're like, "Oh, you can just crack the block if they're not leveled up." And I said, "Well, zounds, why didn't I think of that?" Poor little guy. But anyway, it's a sacrifice that had to be made for knowledge. There's going to be more of that, I'm sure. I've been cutting down iron golems all the time because I need tons of iron for all these redstone things, but I don't have the time. I haven't budgeted the time to go out and exploring and mining much. So I just hack them up periodically and they drop things, and that's good. But as I was saying with the feathers, so that led me to thinking I can reroll the librarians. And the librarians, because I had like 12 of them, I was aware that even at novice level, they would get very wonky, like level 5 stuff sometimes. So I figured if I can't get it from re-rolling Lapis on the enchantment table, I grind it off. It must have been 100 or 150 enchantments. I was pretty sure that Mending just couldn't come out of the enchantment table. So I re-rolled some lecterns, and here we go. This is the greatest of all librarians of all time in all of world history, Jorge Luis Borges, who is not only the preeminent writer of prose of the last century, in my opinion, but also was a real librarian. And there's a line of his, the year he went blind, if I'm not mistaken, when he became the director of the Argentine National Library. He said, "I'd always imagined that paradise would be a kind of library." And to a person that has always loved books, it's like a beautifully chilling statement because me too, Borges, me too. was born a couple of months after Borges died, and I am grateful so often for his wisdom and strength of artistry. But here, for only 36 emeralds and a book, you can get a book of mending, which makes these items last forever functionally, because you could just put something in your offhand. Like if I wanted to level up a little bit of this axe with experience, go feed a ton of chickens or kill a bunch of chickens or pigs or whatever, and then that will mend the item. We'll go demonstrate that for a second here. I did want to talk about one funny thing. Oh, so the butchers only want to buy raw materials, right? They don't want steak. They want to they want to cook the steak themselves. They're more like cooks than butchers. They'll take the raw meat already butchered from the animal, and then they want to make it different for the community. They're more like a cook, more like me. But so this was a sword that I had bought from one of the weaponsmiths before I had gotten this looting sword sorted out. You'll note that it has the words fire aspect on it, which is very humorous. So apparently that adds fire damage, which is logical, and I did anticipate. But what I did not think is that it would immediately cook all of the food as you were doing it, which I did not notice immediately. So I saved these 110 pork chops to relate that humorous story. You'll note my large amount of bows from training up Fletchers and stuff. Never throw anything away. That's my motto, and it has served me well because it would have been a lot harder to do this phase of the game if I hadn't gotten, my thousands of wheat. If I hadn't gotten a setup for everything that I needed, it would have taken longer. But of course, all the things that I did before I planted my field, I won't say they were wastes of time because they weren't. I had just an absolute blast playing in the early days, but I'm glad to have figured out the things that I have. I definitely, just in the last week, now that I figured out sort of like the baseline of the villager economy, like with just chickens, I can get feathers and chicken meat, and that will give me as many emeralds as I ever need. Not incredibly quickly, but the pumpkins help with that too. We're going back to spawn so I can show you how many cows I have, the foundation of my future library work. But so the interesting thing about the villager trading is that it's made me rethink even the efficiency of what I'm saving. So feathers are like a 26 for an emerald, but really you don't care about the raw number, you care about its divisibility into 64. So, if it were 21, we'd be fine. You'd have a 3 emerald cycle. They give you 16 emeralds per trading unit for a length of time before they refresh. So the quicker you get to 18, the less movements you have to do. You have to mouse over, click on it with a shift, click on the item with a shift, and so on. Whereas if say whenever I sell wheat, it's 20, so that's another 3 cycle or 3 emerald cycle. But whenever I sell raw beef, it's 7, or is it 10? It's a number, but it's a number that's much smaller. Pumpkins are 6, and 6 goes into 64, obviously 10 times. So on a 2 set cycle, you can max out at your 16 emeralds, which is dramatically more efficient. How many cows do I have? I think I have like 900. Yeah, there we go. So 800 and so entities in front of me. There's 1,021 here at all. So in case you've been wondering where the leather books comes from, let me in. All right. This is what's become of my field of cows. It is a little out of control, but you know, that's what we have going on. And what I want to do here in a second is go slashing. With sharpness 5, do I one-shot them? It looks like I always one-shot. No, I frequently can one-shot them. I don't think my sword is perfect. There's a thing called like sweeping something that seemed good, but I haven't gotten that mod on this because I cared more about looting, and of course the unbreaking was good, but it was really just looting that I cared about. As we see here, so I think the looting actually soaks up experience from you getting it, so it's a genuine conversion. And I have too many eggs. Eggs are so useless to me now. Oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. I have dropped my sword with my full inventory. This is indeed terribly embarrassing. But you know, like in a bad way, because where is my sword? I'm going to have to try to cull this herd without a sword. All right, so hilarious. I was going to end the video, but now we're going to just deal with me in panic mode, because if I don't get my sword, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that debug screen. It's kind of can't believe I had it up there that long, but so what I need to do is, now that I have one inventory space, I should be able to just run right back in and reacquire my sword. All right, I've dropped hoppers. There we go. Okay. Now with my trusty sword, man, that was intense. Yeah, so once you're mended up, the experience rolls in. And this is this is the cornerstone of the modern economy. I I get a bunch of wheat, I slash up a bunch of cows. The leather I turn into books for my bookshelf collection, but the meat I sell to the multiple butchers. This is a quick way to get an absolute ton of emeralds, a decent amount of experience, and it would be better if I built another cattle farm next to the island that I actually spend my time on, because it's so far away. Like, if I don't hang out here, they don't get older. But yeah, that's how it works. And then whenever I try to leave, I just have to lay waste until I can get the door closed. The mournful piano plays for the necessary sacrifice, and that is that's that, you know. And that's just a quick way to cut down about 200 cows and get many hundreds of leather and beef. Looting gives, I don't know, it seems like you get more items when you kill an enemy with the looting item. I don't know. It was logical, and it feels like I would need to test things individually and not in a mass like that where I can't really see. But that is just about that. I've been planting more in the field of wheat. Just been accomplishing a lot of goals that I had. Not everything in the game is working out perfectly. Obviously, I did not make an elevator, but I'm going to keep on cracking on that. I just wanted to get this video out, show what I've been doing. We can go ahead and end by my favorite thing, switching over into creative mode just to look at the expansion of the field of wheat. As you see, I have been putting in a little bit of work on it. There's a non-irrigated portion there. That's what I planted most recently. It still grows when it's not irrigated. It just, it needs a little more time. But that's how everything is going in my world. And I hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And, it's so much fun to learn this game. It's so much fun to get y'all's input on it. And I know I'm 10 years late to the party of Minecraft, or so, longer than that at this point. But it's still very much a delight. And, well, as the cats all stare at me, I think I'm going to go and take the dog for a walk in real life. But just been having the most fun. I think in our next videos, I'm going to do a little bit of exploring. I've been thinking about actually playing the game, turning it on to easy, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm brave enough. Perhaps Perhaps next week. We shall see.